I got the finger pointed at me, which means we're going live. Hello, Tom Levecki here with the latest edition of the New Theory podcast. Today, we're going to the dogs and cats with the founder of Sassy Woof, Christine.
Hi.
I'm excited to have you today and her husband, Art, and business partner. Christine and Art, welcome to the New Theory podcast. How you doing today?
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Always good to be back in Jersey.
Well, Art is from New Jersey, which I'm really excited about. We'll talk a little bit about that. So Sassy Woof, if you haven't heard of it, you might be living under a rock if you have a nice, cute dog and cat. They have a great line of cat and dog products. We just recently got some stuff for Chloe. That's kind of my sister-in-law's dog. We'll get into that in a minute. But Sassy Woof literally went from like nothing to something gigantic. So I want to start off from the beginning. Christine, give us a little bit about a background about you and why you started Sassy Woof.
Sure. I grew up in Sterling, Virginia. I went to school for healthcare management, got my MBA, worked in healthcare for about 8 years. Then I got my dogs, Winston and Maya, the love of my life.
The true love.
2 miniature dachshunds, and they kind of changed everything. I really got involved into the pet space. They became little influencers themselves. I took a ton of photos of them. But then going through all of that, I recognized that there was a lack of very cute and affordable accessories for them to sport in their photos. So hence, Sassy Woof was created. I worked on it, part-time after work, hours at night, all night designing the products, finding the manufacturers, while I was still working in healthcare.
Wow.
You might wonder how I figured out the name Sassy Woof.
Yeah.
So my first dog, Maya, she is super sassy. She will just give like these little wiggles and this little bark when she wants you to give her attention. And then my other dog, Winston, loves to bark at everything and anything. So we got Sassy and Woof together to make her name.
That.
Yes.
And that's your little guard dog. I think I read it in one of the articles,
It is,
right?
yes.
I love it. Okay, where'd you get your MBA from?
Marymount University.
Beautiful. I have an MBA as well.
Very nice.
I think we both threw them out and just
Yeah,
said, we don't need them. We're not going to tie them back. But you can use the principles of what we learned.
Sure.
Or at least that's what we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
So before you drop $100,000 on your MBA, talk to Christina. So anyway, with that being said, though, so you the business person, you and the dog mom and you came out and said, wait a second, like I want this cute little leash, or I want a harness or a scarf or whatever that is.
Right.
So give me and this is what's really critical for people watching. That was the idea. Give me the first step to how you started the business.
The first step was making the business, getting our trademark on the logo and everything. More of the behind the scenes stuff that Art helped me out with, the business aspects.
Which he's an
of
attorney,
it.
by the way.
Yes.
God
That
bless.
was very helpful.
That's also out
to
of the
have.
window at this point.
IP attorney?
No, I did plenty of IP work, but
Oh, beautiful.
I was a telecommunications attorney.
It doesn't hurt to have the attorney husband.
Not at all. So that was the first part, and then figure out what I wanted to sell or make.
Yeah.
And then finding the manufacturers for overseas.
Okay, now next step. Okay, so this is
Yes.
critical. So you have the idea. So everybody kind of talks about, well, I have this idea and I want to get it done. You hit the nail on the head, and I could tell you guys are experienced where, okay, boom, we have the IP, right? Well, there's a name, right? And then just because you did the name, you have to do the logo. You have to submit them, and that takes forever, right? Then you have to incorporate, and then you need, money to do this, and you need resources, and you making respectfully what you were making, probably a very good wage or a living, it's like, wait a second, like, okay, I'm going to commit resources to this. When do I jump over and do this full time, which we'll get into in a second. The next part is in manufacturing, because the pet space manufacturing is very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
And there's a lot of big players, and you guys kind of found your niche, which is great. And you are going to be one of the biggest players, I predict it. But give us how you initially found out about manufacturing.
We just looked online. There's so many. So what we did was we asked samples from a bunch of different manufacturers.
Did you deal through management reps, or directly with the...
Directly.
We went directly.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And
That's not always easy.
It's not, but it saves a lot of time.
Correct,
it saves a lot of time,
Correct.
and to her point, getting samples becomes the next step, and then you have to find the manufacturer that you trust, that you believe can execute your vision.
Okay.
And then along that same time is not only can you execute it, but can you give us what we need timely? Can you scale with us? You know, if we grow. At the beginning, it's hard to know. What
Did you know you guys are going to be this big this soon?
No,
Absolutely not.
And
Yeah, because when you go in, they have
No.
like because
Yeah.
when you so you identified them, got some samples in, right?
Right.
You selected obviously your vendor who you went with. How long did that take?
Oh, that did take some time.
6 months.
I could see
Yeah.
I could see you being picky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
six
took some
to-
time. I
Am
mean,
I
there's
wrong?
a lot
Oh.
of.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah, I am.
We will talk.
She's like, yeah,
we will talk later
not gonna
about
deny
the
it.
extent of
Yeah.
critical detail to every single thing that we do, and our partners see that too, which is why they like working with
But
us.
it shows in the end product.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, at
6
least
months,
half a
6
year
months,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Finding the right manufacturer.
Beautiful. So you found the right manufacturer. Now, another thing I like about your business, many things I liked, I did a lot of research for the interview, is you're like a design. So again, generally you have like a design and a designer and you boutique and you charge a lot of money, you sell
Right.
less units, but you're like for the masses with a really dope design. How did you come up with some of the concepts of your design and what is your process?
In the beginning, we had really simple designs and colors, so I was able to develop it myself.
Yeah.
But over time, I'm not a graphic designer
Yeah.
in any way, so I did have to work with a lot of freelance artists as we became bigger and we needed more patterns.
Yeah.
But that was how we did it initially. I
Wow.
would create them myself.
And we started the business as like a proof of concept. You know, we never knew we would get to this point. In fact, to be open, when she first approached me to start a pet business while we're in growing careers, I thought it was ridiculous. And,
Yeah, like
but
I'm an
as-
attorney,
yeah.
you're an executive.
Exactly.
Let's
Yeah.
sell leashes.
Yes. Now, again, I told her I think it's ridiculous, but I'll support you. And so we really started as a proof of concept. The first collections were 3 or 4 collections or so, right?
It was 6.
6 collections. There we go. That's how long it's been.
I love it.
She
I
probably
love
can
it.
tell you exactly how many quantities she ordered.
love
But we started with 6 collections. It was small, but we also wanted to not only be a pet company, we wanted to change things a bit in the industry. We're innovators. We were one of the first companies that introduced the concept of a bundle. So you know we're pet parents. So when we buy a leash, we buy a collar. We want things to match. We just want to go and stop and go and get what we need. So all of our collections to this day. We never launch a single product. Everything is a collection. You're always gonna find a harness.
And it's so
leash
obvious
collar.
a bundle, but it's
Yes.
not.
Yes.
Right?
Well, customers are, all of our customers are welcome to pick what they want.
Yeah.
You can pick a la carte or you can buy bundles, but like the concept of a bundle, that was a big process
Nice.
for us.
Yeah.
And the second thing that we did, which was my idea, and I will take that, was we introduced the concept of getting a plan for your growing pup. We call it the Puppy Growth Protection Plan, the PGPP. And essentially what happens is a lot of customers have puppies, but puppies grow quickly. And so to this day, you can buy a harness at a plan for a very nominal price. We actually make, I think, no profit off of it. But after a year or within the year,
You auto send another
yes,
one? I love that.
we'll exchange it, and then we'll take the harness that you use as a puppy, and to the extent that it's still functional, we'll donate that. So we really keep that. We want to make
You
sure
stay
the
within the
customers-
ecosystem. You're helping people
Exactly.
out.
Right.
You're donating to an area that you guys are super involved with. So, okay, so we have the manufacturing down. You did this 6
Hot collections.
SKUs, right? With different patterns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another lesson is we call it, we get it from Great by Choice, but firing bullets before cannons. So people watching, you test a little bit, you find out what works, and then once you've hit the right bullet, then you go with the cannons. So give us your test run, and then how did you develop the cannons behind that?
It was crazy.
Yeah. You want to?
No, go for it.
Are you asking about like testing?
No,
the
when we
product?
launch, like after.
You launch, you have
yeah.
6 SKUs, and did you have a website? Were you at the local
Yeah.
kennel, like, or dog fair? I don't know, like, where did you?
Absolutely. So like we started with 6 collections, 6 different rope leashes, infinity scarves, and through we launched at midnight, which we don't do anymore.
Yeah.
But after launch, that night, I think we made our first like $4,000.
Wow.
And that was where we were like, whoa.
Would you do ad spend, or you had a little bit of a social
No,
media?
no, we didn't do ads for like at least a few years.
Really?
Yes.
In fact,
it was all organic.
we did not do a single dollar of marketing until we hit the $1 million mark.
Really?
Right,
Yeah.
because I think
Usually the other way around. Usually you do
Yes.
the ads
Mhm.
to build up the ecosystem, and then you pull the ads because you no longer
Right.
need them. But that's wow. That's
Well,
congratulations.
Christine was genius at leveraging our pet accounts to
Yeah.
drum up support to find demand, and
Yeah.
so those followers naturally follow Sassy Woof.
So you kind of built up.
Yes,
You
I
had a
did.
little bit of an audience. What was was it your pet accounts? What were the numbers, and then how did you? Because that's the other part too.
Right.
Growing the accounts are difficult. And the other part is converting them to paying customers is not easy.
Right. It was, we had a loyal following on Maya's account and
Okay.
a little bit on Winston's account as
Yeah.
well. I think Maya had around 140,000
Oh.
followers back in 2018.
Oh,
But she had a big loyal following, and we used that to our marketing advantage. And a lot of our
Wow.
customers were from that account.
And they're still our customers to this day, yeah.
Yeah.
So we
still
launched
have
what,
a lot of loyal
October
customers.
October 10, 2018.
so you guys are like, hey, we're gonna launch these 6 things and boom, 4K overnight.
Yeah.
Well-
And you're like, what the heck
And I
is
was
going
like,
on?
I
here?
wasn't expecting that. I was
Yeah.
like, maybe we have something.
Well, yes, and then comes the reality of we have to put these orders together.
Yeah.
She and I, we have to pack them in boxes. We have to print labels. We have to actually do these things because it was just the both of us. So
Customer service tracking.
Yeah.
right, so our basement became essentially a mini operation of this, and
I love it.
and I thought I was gonna have the weekend off that weekend, but we did not.
And you haven't been off since?
Haven't been off since,
No.
and so we had to fulfill these orders. We were, we have pictures of all this still to this day of boxes on the living room,
Wow.
all these things happening at the same time. So yeah, that's the reality of the next step, right?
So
It's
okay,
real.
so you incorporated, you did your beta test, you started selling. How long did you work part time, and when did you go full time, and what made it easy for you to do that?
I left my job about 6 months
That's
after
great.
after Sassy Woof opened. So in
That's
spring
fantastic.
of 2019.
Sometimes it takes a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, we were seeing an upward trend of growth
Wow.
since the first day of opening, and it was not expected at all. We thought this would be a hobby when
Yeah,
we first
make
opened.
you fish your bucks.
Yeah, but
Love
it
doing
just
it.
kept growing, naturally and organically. People were resharing us, and it was wonderful to see.
All right, I want to take as an
Yeah.
interstitial question, and why do we love our pets so much? Why do we love our dogs so much? Is it, the disappointment in humans? Is it just the sturdiness and loyalty in dogs? A little bit of both. Like, there's just such and pun intended, a rabid support that you guys have, but it comes from the love of animals. And and why do we love our pets so much?
There's research that shows the incredible bond and bridge that pets do, whether it's a dog, a cat,
Yeah.
even bunnies and horses. I mean,
Yeah.
there are research that shows that regardless of political spectrum, whether
Yeah.
you are Democrat, Republican,
Yeah.
or in the middle, we love dogs. We can go to the park, and we can go to the park as any political or religious affiliation and have fun with our dogs and connect
amazing.
with dogs. And if anything, I think when COVID hit, and we can talk about the COVID years later or now.
Yeah.
But when COVID hit, the pet category exploded and grew rapidly. Many people that had a pet got another one. Many
Yeah.
people that didn't have a pet got one. And I
They're
think
lonely
I think so. I think many of us felt that need to find something to do or find a dog or a connection to have. And so since COVID, the category of pets as a whole has grown rapidly and is scheduled to grow year over year, 6 to 8%, I think, for the next 10 years. So
Wow.
the pet category is here to stay. There's no question about it.
So the timing was good for you guys as well, because you obviously didn't know the pandemic was coming, and then obviously you had some great products, some designs. Okay, so 6 months doing it part time. I read online that you had your first office, but you guys were growing even faster. You outgrew that, went to a bigger office. So people think growth is fun and easy. As you guys know, it's not. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You have to. You have enough people. Sometimes you over resource. You don't make any money. You under resource. You stress your people out or yourself. It's not easy. They say, I know Mark Cuban says sales cures all. It does, but you need the right sales. So when did you kind of know, holy shit, we have something, like we got to buckle up?
I would say 2020. Would you say?
That's about right. I think we watch Shark Tank, so we absolutely
Yeah.
love the show, not only for what it does for entrepreneurship, but also for the lessons that it teaches.
Yeah.
And we find the questions that sharks ask very compelling. And I think one of the things that when we talk to entrepreneurs and people that have businesses or want to start a business is when you're an entrepreneur, you may be lucky enough where you have to make a decision. You reach this threshold point of the company's growing. You either go with that grow and commit to it, which was her 6 to 9 month part, or you don't. And you have to understand the differences. If your company is growing, there's something for your product, and you don't make the commitment, that interest may very well wind down. Right. If you do nothing, okay, then that may so I think it is entrepreneurship is a very interesting road, and it's different for everyone, and there's a lot of bumps. And so, to her point, I mean, how do you leave a profiting career, both of us, to commit to this unknown
and
world?
And now you joined, and when did you join full time?
I had no choice but to join the company on November of 2023, give or take. We have a staff of 22.
You have a staff of 22?
No, we have a staff of close to 20 people now.
Wow, God bless.
But again,
you count yourself.
Yeah, no, exactly. And now I work for my wife or with my wife. I'm not sure there's a distinction nowadays, but getting that
Julian knows.
But getting that commitment, just making that leap is scary for many. I mean, entrepreneurship is about risk taking, but it's also about making smart decisions based on that risk. And so, for her 6 to 9 months to leave her executive job, it was incredible.
And you leaving a law career.
And I left my law career a year and a half ago, and we have and we have to become experts at logistics, at management, at working with partners, customer service, the whole
quality control.
Exactly. And so it's interesting. We both went to school for things that we never managed. Like we never imagined we'll be here. But that's part of the entrepreneurship. Is you gotta go with the path.
All right, I think you guys are being way too kind, and I'm gonna I had a preface because give me that manufacturer that they sent 3,000 units and one was usable. Give me the one manufacturer that closed down, one that didn't. The one employee that almost burned the place. You got to give me one horror story before we get on to the culture, which I love the culture of your company.
Lucky, actually.
No, COVID year was a horror for manufacturers. Most of them shut down, especially in China. A lot of businesses were closed, so we were out of inventory in 2020 when a lot of things were supposed to be selling. Right.
And you had the demand.
We did have the demand, which was we're losing all this money.
To be fair, we didn't know that. Most companies, COVID hits. We're thinking we're done. We had a great run. This is time to go back to business. And it was the entire opposite, where our inventory just ran through. We were out of inventory for 6 months. The world was really, the logistical supply chain was really a challenge during COVID. And that was also during the time where we had some of our retail partners come into the mix. But COVID was an interesting time for us and for many businesses.
Right.
And I want to say this in the most kind way. While many businesses shut down during COVID and still have not recovered, some e-commerce was the opposite for us.
It was inverse.
It was totally the inverse for us, and we're very fortunate to be on that side.
Yeah. So I still think you guys are being too kind, but
well, we can talk about horror stories.
No. I respect that, because I'd be bitch. Like I stubbed my toe 3 years ago. That was a big challenge I overcome. Put some dramatic music and make it a short, But okay. So one of the other things I noticed, and my sister-in-law turned me on to you guys, is the culture at the company. I'm not a dog person. My wife is bothering me for a dog. We have 2 super young kids. We got 4 cats. The little I read, I'm worried about she wants a small dog. If we get a dog, I'm worried about them not getting along. She's bullying me because all of her kids want dogs. So the dad that says yes to everything to the kids. But we'll get there. Okay. But one thing I noticed though is the culture that you show online and that is part of the company. Because people have a culture and they put online, but it's not real. You could tell people bring in their animals to work. You're having parties for them. Yeah. It's just fun. How did you start and how did you start and foster that culture, but also maintaining it as a high producing culture? Because there's fun cultures,
right?
Where the ping pong table and all that kind of stuff,
arcades,
but then nobody works, or the high performance culture, but you have high turnover. People love your culture and love what you're doing. How did you first set up kind of that culture?
I think we just hired the right people. When we
I need you to be my hiring person.
That would be me.
We both came from interviews. Right, when we went into the interviews with these folks, we brought in the whole team too.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Anxiety.
We
So
do
it's
real big
like
competition. But to
20
your
people on one.
yeah,
And
if you can survive that, yeah.
if you can survive that.
But to your point about culture, Christine and I both came from a very different sector, very
Yeah.
large companies, and I think we had bad experiences.
No.
Oh yeah, corporate,
Yeah.
corporate world.
So in a way, we kind of knew what not to do.
Yeah.
We very early on, we knew the culture that we wanted, and I was fortunate enough to be in a couple of federal government was good to me, and I had leaders that instilled good values.
Nice.
And so since day one, we've had a great culture at the office. You want to talk about it more, like everything we do, right?
I do have a question though. Give me a little out there or not normal question you would ask somebody on one of your interviews, and then what's like the right or wrong answer?
First off, it's very important that you love dogs. So
Oh.
we do ask them
Must love dogs. No,
quite
really, right?
a big bit of questions
Yeah.
around dogs. Like, do you have a dog? Like that kind of matters.
Yeah. Culture, yeah.
What I mean, what do you do with your dogs? What else? Let me see.
We try to, when we hire someone, and I've hired many people and interns and things like that, I think my main goal is to put someone in positions of strength. Like I want to find your strength and see if I can put you there. And so one of the things that I really like to know is how you deal with stress. How do you deal with pressure? How do you deal with frustrations? And so we ask a lot of questions about like, what do you do when things don't get done in time? And some of the good questions are I will let you know, which is great. I think to this day, we tell our folks, like, if we ask for a project and you can't do it, just come to us.
Yeah.
Learning how to say no is an art.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people struggle with that or are afraid. And it's like, no, and the staff has gotten better with that. Like some of the girls now would say, Art, I can't do that right now, where 3 years ago they wouldn't. Now, they'll never send us to Christine, to be fair, because of
No, that's
I think
not
Christine has no problem saying no. But we're talking about the rest of the staff.
yes. And so we really do the best that we can, and we also put our money where our mouth is. And we're a small business, but we offer full benefits to our staff.
bless.
We offer mental health days. We offer a matching 401k. We have dental vision. I mean, we offer the entire set because we want to take care of our employees. Starts with the team.
So because you're employee centric and customer centric, and you have kind of a great culture, how do you handle the non-performers? Because you're gonna have them, right? And I know you probably have a process and probably had a few. And I know it's hard because when you're in that kind of employee centric culture, doesn't mean you still got to produce, you still got to work. How did you guys handle poor performers in the past?
Thankfully, we haven't had to let anyone go.
Due to performance ever?
Since
Wow.
There was one contractor. I don't know if we count them as employee, but no employees.
Wow.
Actual employees.
Yeah,
So
we-
you
we-
guys hire, you guys really take the time to hire, well.
Right.
And then because you maybe now, hold on, do you leave positions open maybe a little longer if you don't find the right person, or you just happen to always find the right people?
Most of our positions are ad hoc. We create positions as need. We don't
Well, that's my next question.
Yeah,
Okay,
we-
because I know the
yeah.
lawyer and you and Christine, the planner, usually do full-time FTE, full-time equivalent analysis, and everybody knows what FTE is. And you kind of say, this is what we're making, this is what we need. So you notice in the past you dealt with a lot of contractors, graphic designers, etc. When did you start insourcing that? Hey, we need an internal graphic person. Hey, I want the programmer internal. Hey, sales guy or gal, I want you internal.
Yeah.
When did you start going internal? What was your process?
I think the first full-time employee was end of 2020.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she's still with us.
Yeah.
And
our
what role
first
does she
employee.
have?
She is the director now of strategic marketing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's still with us.
So you hired marketing first. I respect that. I like that.
Well, no, she started out as customer service.
Oh, wow, good for her. So
she
you have
had
growth within your company.
orders. Yeah. She went through every
Good for
single
her.
role.
She's done everything, and
Yeah.
she
Good
just
for
got her
her.
MBA. She just finished her MBA, and
Wow.
finding those dedicated, committed employees is they're
Wow.
hard. They're far and few between, but we appreciate her work, and I think most of the staff is still there. We have a nearly perfect retention rate, and I
know,
think it
right?
starts with good culture, good approach to
All
management.
right. So now, so this is so we're kind of along the spectrum. Okay. Now let's get to the fun stuff. Okay. Now you land, we'll get to where you guys are, but you land your PetSmart deal, you land your Petco, oh my God, you got your open PO, you got this, you got that, you got all this great stuff. How do you manage cash flow, right? They paid 90 days, but really paid 120. You got to send the stuff, but the manufacturer needs to get paid. How did you guys manage cash flow because I'm still trying to find like the pain point, and there's no way like you got cash flow right in the beginning. If you did, God bless. But how did you manage cash flow, and what did you learn from that?
That's all him.
Yeah.
He's the finance guy.
Before we get into the good
Yeah.
stuff, let's talk about the challenges. Like
Okay.
when PetSmart first reached out to us.
Oh
You
yeah,
wanna talk
what
about that?
was that? 2021.
Yeah, no, 2000. Yeah, somewhere around
So
there.
they
Yeah.
reached out to you guys.
Yes, they reached out to us.
They I guess saw us on socials
Mhm.
and
Got some products and they reached out, and then you want to talk about PetSmart, how that came through?
that's more you.
That's more me.
I mean, it was stressful with this purchase order.
It is because you have as a small business and
Yeah.
you know we're profitable somewhat. We can
Yeah.
make
And
somewhat.
you build
somewhat
brick by
of a-
brick, and then
Right.
it's an elephant jumping in a bathtub.
But I think that's a challenge when you have a company that is, I don't know, just to throw a number,
Yeah.
selling 1,000 units a month,
Correct.
and you have
A
a
PO for
company
100,000.
asking you for 250,000 units. It's exciting and very scary.
Absolutely.
Because you want to get to that growth. That's the next level. That's the
course.
next.
That's your
we
dream.
call it
Of
about
course.
thresholds,
Yeah.
right? That's the next
Yeah.
threshold.
Yeah.
But how the heck do you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of logistics involved,
Yeah.
getting shipments, containers. Like,
Yeah.
we had an office. We didn't have
I think-
forklift or pallets. Like we,
yeah.
At that time, we only had 3 staff members.
Man, you're getting to a point where like you might rent out the entire, what is that unit from China or
That's
wherever
right.
it's from,
That's right.
and which is a whole nother good and bad, maybe
Yeah.
less money, but more like per unit. But then you get the whole other logistical nightmare.
And so we talked earlier about learning how to say no. Well, sometimes you should not say no.
Yeah.
So we went into this partnership, and Christine and I had to become essentially at that point logistical experts. Like,
Yeah.
how do we get products from A to B? How can we the cash flow, right? When PetSmart placed the first PO, the first set of POs, we're all high fiving, and they were like, "How the heck are we gonna finance?"
Yeah.
this?
So what happens? So you
How-
get so you get the PO. How long do you have to deliver it?
I mean, we have 4 months or so, 4 to 5 months. But your point is, how do we finance this thing?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Your manufacturer, right? Because you guys grew wildly.
Yes.
You had your initial manufacturer.
Yes.
Right.
Did you stick with them or you outgrew them?
We did. We
Yeah.
stuck with them.
So they
Yeah.
scaled, huh?
They
with
did
you?
scale
Or were
with
they
us.
big and they gave you a chance?
No, we definitely
They
scaled
scaled
with
with
them.
you.
Yeah.
They scaled.
They definitely had to hire.
You guys got like a horseshoes
People.
up your butts.
Yeah. No, you're not kidding. And not only that, no,
I can't even cross
No.
the street. I can't cross the street.
you're not kidding. No, we
Yeah.
we had this conversation with them. Is, can you make this? And
Because I was waiting for like
Yeah.
we outgrew this place. We felt really bad. They were mom and pop.
we did that in the
or-
office, but not at the manufacturer level. We've
Yeah.
been very fortunate. And to
Wow.
this day, we still use the same manufacturer from.
So when you
from
said
years
call
ago.
them up, you're like, hey, I need 250,000 versus
Yeah.
2,000. They're like,
They're very excited.
They're like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
But they also want to get paid.
Yeah.
And they want to get paid sooner because they
Yes.
like you, but they don't
Yeah.
trust you.
So we had to. I think at the time we had to find financing for. I think it was like $300,000. It was
Yeah.
just an amount that we
Yeah.
just could not manage.
Did you
on our own.
factor it? Did you get an LOI?
So
I mean,
we
what's
explore.
that called? Sorry.
We
Yeah.
explore every angle, right? And Christine, of course, is focusing on creating the products. I'm
Yeah.
focusing on funding this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we explore every angle. And of course, no bank will land a
Nope.
small business
will not.
$300,000
They will
when
not.
your cash flow is positive,
Yeah.
but it's in the tens of thousands.
Yeah, they will not.
Even with POs on hand. So
Yep.
we got connected with a company called Clearco.
Okay.
And Clearco is based, I believe, out of Canada. And they were doing a pilot program for companies just like us. It was just
Yeah, it
perfect.
was so
Dude, I'm not
perfect.
kidding.
I'm gonna cross the
Perfect
street
time.
and get hit by a car.
Yeah. Perfect time, perfect placement. And it's all and when it comes to business, a lot
I
of
kind
things.
of don't like you guys.
I'm not. Well, here, let me tell you all the failures. We could not finance through any bank. We could not. We
Yeah.
almost. We
no,
had
that's
to-
actually a big deal because you have so much time to
nothing.
fulfill.
We probably would have to take a loan out of our house. to
Yeah,
even
we
finance
asked
it.
So,
a
quick
lot
question.
of
In all
people.
seriousness, you found some and they factored it, or
They essentially lend us the money against the PO,
Nice.
and that was the step that catapulted us to where we are.
so hold
today.
on. So you go to your manufacturer, but here's the other thing too. You had a great relationship with your manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are like, hey, we're growing together. We're like family. Everything's great.
Yeah.
Everybody happy with each other.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you need 250,000 units.
Yeah.
Were they fair? Like same terms, but but just make sure you pay on time. No, I love you guys, but I need half up front. Like were they? Because sometimes when you scale like that, your manufacturer gets and rightfully deserved a little funny with terms and percentages and when it has to be paid. How do they react to your big order?
What is it? 50-50? I think she told us. At the time.
Deposits 50%.
Yeah.
at the
What
time
was
of
it
placement.
normally?
Oh, 30.
Yeah.
30, yeah.
No, but that's a marginal
Yeah.
like.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely.
But it becomes a next scale of operations that we never imagined. To this day, I mean,
Yeah.
the amount of logistics that go behind anything.
So they said, hey, give
Yeah.
us 50%
Yeah.
and then 50 on delivery.
Yes.
But then you still don't get paid because
Exactly.
you're at.
No, we
What do you net 90 with your bigger vendors?
Depends, net 60
Yeah.
and 90. But still, you have 3 months to
Yeah.
twiddle your thumbs.
Correct,
Things about,
correct.
Right.
you know, and so.
And then when you okay, so you figure out the financing, you get into the channels, right? How did like did you monitor sale through? Did they were you doing like maybe trials at stores, hanging out? Like how did you pull through that the initial order?
That's Christine's area because one of the things that one of the reasons why many manufacturers and retailers like to work with us, we're more than a partner. We're just not going to give you the product. We're
Yeah.
going to help you sell it, and we're going to help you sell it well. And that's Christine's side.
Yes, so I'm big on the marketing side.
It's the most important part of the discussion because we did all this. If you get it on the shelves and not moved, you're done.
Right.
So keep going. Sorry.
We do a full marketing plan, feed posts, reels, stories, emails, ads, everything you can think of. in
Nice.
between.
Yeah.
We get our ambassadors out to the stores.
Oh, the little doggy.
Yeah.
Aw.
We have little incentives to get them to the stores, take the photos, share on their social platforms, and we do that with every single launch we do in stores to this day.
Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they see those results tangibly. I mean, they see traffic online, they see traffic at the store level, and that's one thing that sets us apart is her ambassador marketing arm is unparalleled. We had like traction. We had hashtags at the stores, like that flow of connections. Just to this day is incredible.
That's amazing. Because the other part is, some people just think they post on their large account, post and feed, other kind of stuff, and then things just kind of move. And that's not the case. I assume you probably geo-targeted, probably visited some of the stores. You don't get details because I may be like diving too deep, but when you get your initial big orders, like the reorders and that kind of stuff, like were they within line with your expectations? Did they order sooner? Did they order later? Because I want to kind of see how you kind of got even to that next level.
PetSmart did reorder. They placed a few reorders with the first order.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was huge. But then we had some slight setbacks with new buyers. We're getting new
buying team.
buyers.
You might have hit your market, and then you need
relationships,
new awareness.
It's always a concern of like maybe they know someone else that they want to take in instead of us. So there was a lot of relationship building to get them to trust us and to make sure that they know this stuff works well.
So PetSmart came to you guys. How about Petco?
Petco is.
We haven't had much luck with Petco. It's been a revolving team, but we are.
Send this to your Petco buyers.
That's right. You're missing out. Trust me.
New theory.
That's right. Sassify your aisles.
That's right. That's right.
But we're on Chewy. We're on Walmart, and so
Chewy. Because I use Chewy on the recurring.
Right.
It's a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie, but I'll overestimate the food and underestimate the litter. So my next order is just like 4 litters because I don't want to lose like the auto ship.
Keep getting cats, you're gonna need more litter.
Yeah, we have I love our cats, but they just poop a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens.
Which we're gonna get the cats in a second. Okay, so you pulled it through, good cash flow, but then you got the Walmart, which is not easy.
Yeah. We got into Walmart. Walmart has been an interesting channel. We are in 370 something stores, and hoping to expand. But again,
if you go national, you guys are screwed, right? Like how do you you would have to how do you fulfill that order?
Yeah, it's been a challenge.
We're at least we know the logistics part of it, so it's a lot easier now for sure.
You were so downplaying this right now.
Yeah, no, for real.
You were such a calm person.
We just know what to do
That's
now.
because she doesn't. That's because she doesn't do any
Well,
logistics.
she does do
She
it
doesn't
all.
know. She doesn't know what.
She's like, it just shows up.
It's just there.
I mean, at least I know he's working
I love
in the
it.
room
I
next
love
to
it.
me.
Let me tell you, logistics is an incredibly stressful part of any business because your hundreds of thousands of dollars POs are on a boat. On a boat somewhere floating, you're hoping it gets to the port.
I always watch those reels with like the boat and the cargo flying.
Gosh,
like
no.
if I was already like, oh my god, is that Sassy Woof?
Yes.
Oh no.
The first PetSmart launch, with this whole thing is happening. We have all this risk. I don't think it's left for like 2 weeks. I was keeping that track of
You
that
ever get
boat.
a bad batch? Like they send like 5,000 units and like they're shitty.
No,
Okay.
no, we
Thankfully,
will
no.
not. We will not
We've
be
had
in
some
business.
smaller products that were made wrong, but it wasn't
Got it.
any.
We're nothing at that scale.
I gotta find
Yeah.
something wrong with you guys.
Oh, you
okay,
will,
hold on,
you
hold
will,
on,
you
hold on.
will, you
All right. Did you start a SKU or something and it just crapped the bed? Like you gotta give me, don't be even lie. Just like
No,
just say like
there's
No, I
been-
mean we've tested a lot of products in the dog world just
Yeah.
to see if it will work, but we always order small batches.
because you always test, you
To
never really
test.
screw up because they.
We always test if it's in addition to anything. We normally do like a harness and collar, which we know works.
You super test.
We
Got it.
test.
Now, anything you were like, you had your heart set on, you tested it, and you're like, oh, it just didn't work.
I feel, there are some products like that where we sometimes as people we think something will do so well. Even
Yeah.
with content and social media, we're like,
Yeah.
this is gonna do so great,
then it
and
just-
it just flops. And then sometimes you see something that's like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like this is not gonna do well, and it goes up.
So I want to get a little kind of personal question for a second. So you guys are a married couple working together.
It's not
you
for
know,
everyone.
Do you get? It's not. Trust me. Do you get like, hey, we'll do like a monthly date night, or do you maybe carve out, hey, let's have lunch, not talk about work? How do you balance the personal relationship aspect to it?
Well, we do try to do lunch
Yeah.
during the workday, maybe a couple times a month.
Nice.
But we are.
You pencil them in.
Yeah,
Hey,
right?
she pays for the bill, so that's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
But we are busy, quite busy at home.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
2 toddlers, and
Oof,
we have
and you have 2 toddlers.
one on the
Jeez.
way actually.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we
God,
have
I
one
didn't
on the way,
know.
coming
November.
this fall.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's busy.
So we are super
Oh my
busy
God.
at home too.
Yeah, we're
And
busy
it's
at
hard
home.
to
Is it
find
public,
time.
or you announced it here on the podcast?
We're
the
gonna
family
announce
and
on
friends?
Mother's Day
Yeah.
this weekend.
You get a 2-day start.
It's not live,
Let's
right?
edit it quick.
Quick, send it out right now.
Well, Julie just had a beautiful baby girl.
Oh, congrats!
Oh,
Congratulations!
congrats.
Yeah.
That's why he's
Yeah.
not sleeping.
That's it. It's coffee there, right?
Yeah.
So wait, you have 1 and 1 on the way, or 2 and 1 on the way?
We have 2 and 1 on the way.
2 and 1 on the way.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's,
And
it's a
what are the
handful.
ages of the 2?
We have a 4, a 3, and a new one.
When you meet my wife, she's gonna hug you because I don't know how you do it.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I think when I talk about the path to entrepreneurship, when you own your business, there's no time off. There's no vacation. There is just no time where you're not answering an email or focusing on. And so we work very hard to go on vacations. We treat ourselves and to have a level of work. Like we can't say to each other like we're not doing work because that's
Correct.
unrealistic.
It's not our choice.
It's more about like, hey, I have these 2
Let's
projects.
shut
and
down
if
at
you
5,
Yes.
and then we'll go for dinner
Yes.
or for coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now there are sometimes a lot of fires to put
Yeah.
out, and we're working across the world, so we're talking to a manufacturer that's 12 hours away, or someone in East Coast that's 3 hours behind. So it is. I think it's a balancing game. I don't think there's a perfect approach, but certainly we make it work.
So we're along a super journey, which is fantastic, right? But now you started Sassy Woof, right?
Mhm.
And that applies to dogs, obviously.
Mhm.
And you've done really well in the dog space. Talk us about and it's doing really well, as I understand, really well in the cat space, which is my area of interest. So give us kind of like, hey,
Right.
you know what? We did X on dogs.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead into cats. And I'm going to put you guys on the spot. I
Yeah.
want to know the difference between a cat and a dog mom.
Oh, okay. Well,
Ooh,
Sassy Meow April Fools. Go for
Yes,
it.
2 years ago we came out with Sassy Mail for
Aw,
April Fools.
Sassy meow.
It was an April Fools.
It was an April Fool's joke. We didn't think much of it. We were like, oh, this is a
Were
joke,
people
guys.
salty or are they happy?
Yeah.
Our staff photoshopped the logos to read Sassy
Yeah.
Meow. Like they,
Yeah,
it was. It looked really legit. to be
And
fair.
then so many people wanted it.
Yeah.
Funny.
Crazy amount of people. And then we were like, I guess we have to make this real.
Funny.
So I had
Yeah.
to look into the cat market. We thankfully have staff on the team that owns cats. So
You luckily, those damn cat people, we had to find one of those.
yes, we have them on our team. We have
You are
quite
such a
few.
dog mom. I love it.
I do. I love dogs. I love cats. My son
Yeah.
loves cats.
Okay.
Yeah, he keeps asking for one.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll get. a cat.
Want to give us one of yours?
There's
You
one,
save a litter.
There's one that maybe.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. It's I think the cat category, I think for us it has been a traditionally neglected area. I mean,
is.
cat products, and so we launched Sassy Meow when officially, I guess,
We launched last fall.
last fall.
So
Yeah,
super
it's in
important.
2023.
Joking aside, so business question. Hey, launch Sesame out. You have a database. You have your email people. You have your social media followers. You have your ecosystem, return customers, that kind of stuff. Are they the same people or were they different?
There's a mix. There's quite a bit of people with dogs and cats,
Interesting.
believe it or not. A lot of our ambassadors
Don't tell my wife that.
have both.
And some of them bought Sassy Woof products for their cats.
Yeah, we have had cat
Interesting.
people buying dog products, vice versa as well. I mean, with both sides, dog moms, dog cats, there's
How do you get them to
The
wear
whole
like
spectrum.
the collars and the cute bandanas? They just do not want to wear them.
yeah. I mean,
What's the play?
a lot of dog parents they start young and then they just train their dog or cat to wear them.
Wow.
A lot of them are online sharing pictures of their pets, so they want their dogs and cats to look good in the
Yeah.
photos.
It's their family. We treat pet as family. We want them to look good. We want them to feel comfortable. Yeah.
Okay, so you expanded into cats. What percentage are you dogs? What percentage are you guys cats right now?
Ooh.
Revenue.
I mean,
Say,
so the Sassy Meow offerings right now are only, I think, 3 to 4
Okay.
compared to hundreds of
Oh,
dogs.
okay.
So we're still growing the cat category, but we have a very exciting
Yeah.
new line of cat products coming out in this summer, around July time. So stay tuned.
Nice.
It will be a licensed Sassy Meow products, and we should talk about license because that is
Yeah.
the growth.
Okay. So, and I know we glossed a little bit over how you got into certain channels, but
Yeah.
I think we covered that. Talk us about licensing.
All right. So,
Interesting path for us.
Yeah, I think our first license was in 2022 with Warner Bros.
It's a biggie.
And they own Friends.
They own a lot of Friends,
Yeah.
Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts.
But like, but give me like I'm 3 years old. Do you reach out to a licensed broker that somebody reaches out to you? How does that even start?
We connected with the brand liaison. They're
Okay.
based out of New York. They're an agency that focuses on this.
Oh,
Stephen
wow.
and Lori are absolutely amazing, and they represent many companies, not only
Yeah.
pet. I think they have Snuggie, right? Well, they have a few
They have
big companies.
the Comfy.
The
I don't
Comfy.
know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah. So they do exclusive license work, and their point is to connect the licensing team with us. And so Warner Brothers was the first one that we did. When we first started doing licensing, I think Christina and I thought it would be just 20% of the business because
Yeah.
we didn't do any licensed products
Yeah.
until 2022.
Yeah.
We felt it was going to be something small. Warner Brothers was the first one.
Respectfully, I wouldn't even think of licensing for like the dog category for like a non-dog product. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
But
but I'm also not that smart.
But you can talk about it more. But right now, licensing is almost our entire bandwidth.
Wow.
It is. It has exploded. They are incredibly popular. If you want to talk about.
Can you speak to some of the ones you collaborated on?
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. Warner Brothers was the first one.
I mean, Friends, Harry Potter, Powerpuff
Get
Girls,
outta here.
Scooby-Doo, and then
You're talking the biggest brands and
Yeah.
names in the
it was-
world.
And then we, with the movie launch, Wonka, Willy
Yeah.
Wonka last year, and then we went into Disney soon after Warner Bros.
Licensing for Disney is
Yeah, that was a big one for us.
wow.
Big gap.
We got like Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, their friends.
So how does it work? So the agency sets you up or you get set up. Is it you allowed to use their likeness in exchange? You give
Yeah.
them a royalty, I assume.
Correct.
Very
That's
straightforward. Yeah.
correct.
Very
Got it.
straightforward. Yeah.
Now, are there guarantees they get, and if you don't sell, you're screwed, or is it generally variable so you're protected?
There's a minimum guarantee on all the contracts.
Got it.
So just sort of a minimum baseline.
Got it.
We've been fortunate enough that these French licensors have worked with us because we're a small business first
Yeah.
and foremost. But the reason they want Sassy Wolf is because of what we talked about earlier. We can sell, we're marketing, we can add, we can create incredible content.
Yeah.
Much of that content they use themselves. So they actually ask
Yeah,
us for those things.
you know what? I'm like kind of dumb. Like your strength has been your social media strategy. So let's
Absolutely.
unpack that. So give me like day one, so to now.
Talk about a regular day at the office, which
Yeah.
is essentially a studio at this point.
I mean, it all started, first off, back in 2018. It all started with, I think, just me photographing the products in a nice aesthetic way. And I kind of translated that and trained my staff to take photos the same way. They've definitely elevated it since then. I think our photography and really captures.
But this is
people to look
important,
at.
though. This is important.
It
though.
is.
So no, but hold
It
on.
is.
So sorry to cut you off, but so wait a second. We're now a studio. We are now taking better pictures. Now, are these really socially minded people, or you had a dedicated photographer? Because that's where like the rub is. So
Right.
like
That I think that comes to a challenge that you talked
Yeah.
about, like hiring creative folks that can meet Christine's unbelievably high expectations is the biggest challenge for me, because art and creatives is very subjective, depending on how you see it. And so, if I wanted to hire a photographer, just I will get thousands of resumes. I have people that have worked in the White House and have taken picture at the UN that want to work for us. Not that they're not good photographers. They just have to get the aesthetics.
So you almost rather have
Yes.
the socially minded dog mom
Yes.
that has the iPhone 14 than Larry, the photographer, who's sitting there with the cameras,
Yes.
lights. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I like that. Okay,
Yes.
And
so, yeah,
And then you have to shape them into the content that
that you got.
Yes.
It. Okay,
she
so you kind of turned into a studio. You started obviously on some photo content, and then it started migrating over to video. How did you make that transition? Because did they edit in CapCut? Did you have to have a separate editing back end? How did you handle that?
Instagram has gone into videos
Yeah.
in the recent years.
She's gonna make it sound so simple. She's like, doing the video, so we just started doing video.
I was frustrated. We were doing so many photos. We were only photos, and then Instagram, TikTok popped up, and it was videos now.
No, but you got it. How did you How did you know?
I mean, how did I know that this
You
was
got
the
it
route?
right. You got it right.
Yeah, we definitely brought a videographer onto our team.
No, but no. That's a tactic,
Yeah.
it's a strategy. So you have 300,000 followers on
Yeah.
IG. How's your TikTok?
TikTok is about 60.
Okay, but still great.
Yes.
Okay, so you're north of 360 or around 360, right?
Right.
My question though is, how did you know to lean into video?
I just saw the trend. I just kept
yeah.
seeing more videos popping up. I was like, this is the route we have to take.
Got it. And then so then
Yes.
again, now plug in the resources.
Yes, and then we hired a videographer
Nice.
on our team.
They do capture and editing.
Yes.
Okay.
we do.
most of the content that you see on our website is created by us, and I think most people, perhaps you too.
So what do they call it? User generated content, right?
Yeah.
UGC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So most of it is created by us, but I was gonna say I think most people don't appreciate how much it takes to create 10 seconds of any content.
Yeah.
Like all the content
It's
is
a lot.
is so much. We spend all days. We probably create petabytes of content
Wow.
daily on photos
But
and
how
videos.
do you balance the getting Winston, just kind of being obnoxious but cute,
Right.
and you capture it, and the old Sassy Wolf you would just post, but have Julian in the back and clean it up. How do you balance that nowadays?
I mean, like the
Yeah, you
workspace.
capture you capture a cute moment that the old Sassy Wolf you would just post real time, but now you have an editor. Should we edit? Should we call it to
Yeah.
action? Should we have an effect? How do you balance that?
Well, nowadays we have to work way in advance. Anything that you see posted on our Instagram,
You do have a social calendar, obviously.
especially licensed stuff, we
That's
have to
different,
get
correct,
months in advance.
It took
of
a long way
approval.
to
So your
get there.
social calendar is 90 days out.
Yes.
And it took
Oh,
a long
wow.
way together. Talk about challenges. We used to
Yeah,
one of the
this
biggest
is-
challenges we had was creating content and keeping up with that content. Because one of the things about content, and you know this, once you commit, you commit. You can't
Correct,
can't just do a video each month.
Correct.
And so
It's like turning around the Titanic.
Exactly.
Slowly
Yeah.
and so as we were growing, we realized we have to have a photo each day.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, it was very frustrating because we were doing the photo the day off.
Yeah.
And it was
Right.
it was very stressful to okay, what's next day? What's next day?
So you guys get an MBA on marketing right now. How far out's your social calendar?
At least 3 months.
Wow, a 90
You have
day.
to be 3 months advance.
Wow.
Now the skits and stuff that you see in between, they're pretty the week before or
Yeah.
so, but that's keeping up with trends. But otherwise, anything.
Oh, so I like that. So you're not I have 90 days. We have 90 days for a core pillar of
Depends on
content.
what it is.
And we'll have,
Yeah.
we're open to maybe within a week of following on trend for that.
Right,
That's
yes,
pretty dope.
exactly.
And you have the person in house that can turn it around because you're
Yeah.
dedicated.
Right.
It's the puzzle coming
Exactly.
together.
And a lot of it is driven by the launch, what we're launching in the summer or the fall. Like right now, I
Well,
think
that
we're
was
working
my
on-
next question.
Yeah.
Are you a campaign gal? Hey, we're now doing scarves, or are we how do you put the content into that pipeline? Are you campaign driven? Are you more seasonal? Give me kind of I want to understand the magic.
It's by the launch. What's the collection
What's
coming out?
by collection, okay.
Exactly. So we're definitely driven by collection. So this week we're working on X collection, taking all the content for it. Next week is something different. We're working on fall right now.
Right.
I got to ask this question.
Yeah.
Maybe this is we got to. Did you get marked down yet?
What's that?
Did you get marked down yet? Or no?
No, not necessarily. We do have off-price channels, but
I'm gonna come intern for you guys.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna work for free
okay, bring the cats.
because I need to.
The cats.
Well,
we
Serendipity's gonna
don't want
scratch
you. We want the cats to model.
Serendipity's gonna scratch you.
We want the cats.
Zeus is old. But hopefully-
Well, no, but just to give you an idea of how the rest of the year. I mean, we talked about Warner Brothers and Disney, but we're also Mattel. Barbie was a big
Mattel's a
hit.
biggie, yeah.
What else?
We are doing Peanuts this fall.
So let me guess.
So-
You got the Barbie license when the Barbie movie came out.
No,
We
we
got
were
it
a
bef-
tad
yeah,
late.
we did
A
tiny
tad
bit.
late.
We still rode the wave, but
You
it
know,
wasn't.
we saw the trailer, I don't know, January 2022, last year. No, 23.
23.
And we were like, we have to get this. And then
Sweet.
by the time contracts happened, getting approval for everything,
Yeah.
the movie had just happened.
Oh yes, yeah.
And then we launched shortly after the
But
movie.
still, that's fantastic.
was
Well, you,
great.
you got the on-demand version at least, where
Right?
whenever you hit, when
But
you
it's
hit.
actually to this day still,
That's very well.
that has been one of our most popular collections.
Wow.
And I think many
Yes.
licensors are sort of amazed at the pet category as well as the products and how we
Okay.
do them, and that's why they like to continue to work with us.
So I'm going to go into a little bit of marketing nerd speak. I know I don't want to there's some marketing nerds watching because you started out organic, right?
Right.
And you were selling some stuff direct. We have higher margin stuff, wholesale, so less margin, but you got organic sales. So you started introducing ads, right? You guys are probably great at it, I could tell. But my question though is that ads cut into margin, right? How did you manage that at first? You know what I mean? Because
Right.
wait a second, now I'm spending $0 and I'm getting $5. Now I'm spending $1 and I'm only getting like $5.10 or whatever it was. How did you manage that?
Well, in the beginning, we used an ad agency.
Okay.
We liked them, but we
Yeah.
didn't love them.
Yeah.
The creatives just wasn't us.
Yeah.
So we ended up hiring someone internally to manage our ads program,
Wow.
marketing in general, and the graphics team makes the graphics.
So this is
Videos.
super important because I have an ad agency too.
Right.
Well, marketing, but we do some ads. For that reason, I always say a great ad agency, a great market agency, if they do their job, they should be fired. Not that you were unhappy, meaning like to grow you so
Right.
much that you say, hey, you know what? I
Yeah.
got to go inside with this because you're expensive and now we have the money to do it. Let's go inside.
The challenge for us was timing. An ad agency has many clients, and so by the time we submitted, let's say we submitted a post or a
Yeah.
picture to be approved.
Yeah.
We need that approved like today, so we can send it
Yeah.
tomorrow, or not. Doesn't have to be
Yeah.
that soon. But they're working like 30 days ahead. By the time they approve it, it's already
Oh,
out
so
of the
you were
market.
dealing with a big agency.
So
Okay.
for us, it was more like a time
Ours is
issue.
72 hours and most wanted the
Wow.
same day.
Yeah, well,
pretty good.
it's pretty good. But for us, it was like by the time they approve it, we're passing. We're doing
But this
something
is
else.
important, though. This is
Yeah.
an important question. So when you said, you know what, screw this, we're going to insource this.
Yes.
Did you insource hey, I'm a creative person, and then I have a designer, graphic designer, execute that? Or is your creative person the graphic designer themselves?
There is a graphic designer and someone that does the strategic planning on when to put it up.
And that's a lady
on
that
the
referred
back.
to earlier.
No,
that
it's someone else.
Oh, got it.
else,
Okay,
someone
got it.
else, yes.
Okay.
But she's been with us for quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 3 years now.
years now,
I
yeah.
would
So
say.
you kind of get it. Like, you just, like,
I think we.
did you talk to people that screwed up? Like, I'm just trying to get, like,
I-
please,
I-
I'm trying to help you here.
It's lessons learned. I mean, we learn as we go, right?
Yeah.
Having an agency before us kind of give us a good introduction to the
Yeah.
ad space, and the ad space is so cluttered, and there's just
Well,
so
I
many
would say
things
I would
to-
say this. I would say what a marketing or ad agency should do is it's those two little sticks that are on the tree
Yeah.
to help you grow,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually you should insource stuff when you can, and then only use the agency, maybe manage media buying or
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Do you handle your own media buying?
Media buy.
Yeah, if you do ad spends and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a separate person for that.
Same person.
Yeah. Same person.
Same
Oh
person.
wow,
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah, that's been a strategy, and I think for us it's been because we, when we sometimes in Shark Tank you hear stories of companies spending, they rely almost exclusively on ads,
Yeah.
right? And that's not us, right? I think that's been a one strong support for us is we were organic first,
Yeah.
and we're still organic to
Yeah.
this day, and so that in many ways the ads and marketing was a supplement to us as opposed
Got
to
it.
the entire reliance of the business.
So I got a question. Do you do organic content? Wow, this did really well. Let's use that for an ad. Or are you like, no, this is organic stuff. I would like dedicated paid media. How do you, which is closer to what you do?
A lot of the content we create are the ads because of how.
Oh, beautiful.
Because we have to get approval so early
So get
on.
it done.
For
So
license
we
stuff,
just
right.
say
Get it
this
done
is the
once.
ad and the
Got it,
reel,
got
so
it,
we
got
get
it.
approved at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Have you turned down an opportunity that, in retrospect, that you're like, oh crap, I wish I said yes?
I don't think so.
Down and up.
I don't think so.
We do say yes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
like, we could do it.
And there's
Yeah.
flaws of doing that, and we've learned that. So
Yeah.
so one of the things that we have done is, for the most part, any retail channel that wants to work with us will pursue them. And we've done that for the past years, but we're realizing that not every channel is profitable, and not every channel is going to be as important as others. And all the channels take time, and time is money. And so when it comes to dividing our resources, we've made some recent strategy decisions of like, hey, we gave this channel 6 months or a year. It's not working. Let's just depart ways so we can focus on the
Correct,
stronger
correct.
ones. So there's a lot. So there are good reasons of saying yes, but there's also good reasons of saying no.
No.
I will share this story, which I find compelling to this day. There came a point where we needed to have to find a manufacturer to increase a particular product, and we found the manufacturer here in the U.S.
Oh wow.
Yes, it was a company. It was a small company, and they created the products that we wanted. We thought they could make it because we wanted to bring it in house, but they were not at that scale. And when I told this company like, here are the kind of numbers that we can give you, can you do it, they actually said no.
Wow.
And it's interesting because like they said no to growth. We were just talking about like commit growth. They could do it if they scale up, and they could have really scaled with us to this day and quintuple, maybe even more to their business, but they decided not to. And it was like, it's interesting because, and I told them, look at the profits, here's what you can make. And then they said no. I think it was still one woman that does it. But you see that bifurcation of a company.
I respect that, but wow.
I know. And it was the same product. We weren't asking them to make something different.
Correct.
It's what you made.
Yeah.
And they said no. So it's like, well, that's interesting. How do you say no to growth? And but there's also reasons for that, you know. So I find that interesting all the time.
Wow. So this was a good one. Just, we have an audio component, or so people are just listening. We're going to have all your links below. But how can they find you?
Visit sassywoof.com. We're on all social channels, Sassy Woof as well. You can find us in PetSmart stores. Bring your dogs, bring your cats to the store, try on our products.
And the cat products, Sassy Meow, both sassymeow.com, Instagram, Sassy Meow. We got all those channels ready for you to peruse.
Awesome. Well, this was special. Thank you guys so much for being on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.